जो भी क्यूरीज है रिगार्डिंग द असाइनमेंट्स, रिगार्डिंग द सबमिशन, एक बार हम फिर से वो क्यूरीज लेते हैं 2:45 पर। यू जस्ट पेन इट डाउन। आपको जो भी सवाल है, प्रश्न है, आपके सबमिशन से रिलेटेड, अटेंडेंस से रिलेटेड, आप लोग सभी लोग ये देखें कि आप वो पेन डाउन करें, और जब हम 2:45 पर हम जब ज्वाइन होंगे यहाँ पर, देन ऑल ऑफ यू शुड सी दैट योर क्यूरीज आर रिजॉल्व। I think that already the roll numbers, those who have been assigned the academic responsibility, academic committee responsibility, they have shared their roll numbers. Email, sorry.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. I have shared the email in the group.
So you can repeat it right now, because I think that 2, 3 friends of ours have joined a little late in the group. I think on Sunday they have joined. So you can reshare it, and at 2:45 we can have another meeting regarding your submissions.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, sir. I will also reshare my email ID to the group.
Yes,
today.
ma'am.
Yes, sir.
मोबाइल रखने के लिए ना, वो मैडम के पास वो माइक्रोस्कोप है ना, वो लेके आए मोबाइल को सपोर्ट के लिए, वो छोटा वाला, वो टेबल पे कंप्यूटर में क्लास में। हाँ, वो रखने के लिए होगा।
गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे,
गीत आमुचे सागराचे, इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे, गीत आमुचे जागराचे, गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे, गीत आमुचे सागराचे, इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे, गीत आमुचे जागराचे. तंतु तंतु संघर्षाचा पैठणीत भिनलेला
नक्षीतच पक्षी पक्षी विजयाचा मिळलेला
सोन पहाट उदयाचे गीत आमुचे उजेडाचे इतिहासाचे जनामनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे प्रज्ञेचा सूर्य नवा शब्द शब्द उजळून गेला समतेचा संगराचा अर्थ ढाळून गेला विराट विशाल संस्कृतीचे गीत आमुचे जीवनाचे इतिहासाचे जनामनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे गीत आमुचे सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनामनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे
So thank you, Amul. You can stop the banner and the university song. On behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, I welcome all the participants of selected participants of this refresher course in academic leadership and institutional excellence for Viksit Bharat 2047. I welcome first of all the participants on behalf of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. Also, I welcome two eminent personalities for this inaugural session. First of all, I would like to welcome our chief guest today, Professor Dr. Aparna Kotapalli ma'am. She is the principal of one of the prestigious institute in Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar and one of the oldest institute of this Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar in legal studies, that is MP Law College. Also, I would like to welcome one of the senior faculty member from this university campus, my colleague, Professor Dr. Aparna Ashtaputre ma'am. She is heading Department of Psychology of our university, and she will be coordinating this refresher course, 12-day refresher course. With a lot of pain and efforts, she has prepared the timetable of this refresher course, and I think that the course will be really a success, and we will see that in the coming days, you will take something in your bags that you will deliver to your colleague, to the society, to the students. Dr. Aparna Ashtaputre ma'am, as I've already told, that she is heading the Department of Psychology. She has a vast teaching and research experience. Her academic qualification is MA Psychology, MPhil, and PhD. She is first rank holder in MA Psychology. She has also passed set examination way back in the year 2000. Her research area includes personality, parenting. Also, she is chairing a board of studies in psychology of our university and also MGM University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, and Mahatma Gandhi Hindi Vishwavidyalaya, Varna. Also, she is a member of BOS of KBC, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, and also Professor R. More, Arts, Commerce and Science, Akurdi, Pune. She is also director of Mahatma Phule Study Center of our university. Also, she has many publications to her credit, various journals and magazines. Also, uh, under her able guidance, students have completed their PhD, and also she has completed a research project. Uh, Also, she has a YouTube channel, Dr. Aparna Ashtapurse Shishode. Also, she has been honored by Dronacharya Award by Lions Club of Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar and Best Teacher by Department of Education of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University way back in the year 2013. So, not taking much time, I would request Dr. Aparna Ashtapurse ma'am to brief out the 12 days working program to all of us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this lovely introduction. I welcome all the participants and today's guest, Dr. Kotapalli madam. We will be understanding how to have this Vikasit Bharat through education from academic perspective. How can we have this leadership? Can we build an academic excellence? So to get the input of this particular topic, we'll have different sessions. Those would be interactive sessions, most of them, where the professors who have done certain research work, certain modules they have prepared, they would be interacting with you all. So the forum would be, I think that would be very enriching for everyone, where the resource persons are telling a new concept, some new researches that they have done or certain projects they have completed. We have AI related things that would be there in their sessions. There would be certain educational models are also included. There are people from different area, like Aparna madam is from law faculty, but she would be talking about the excellence. She is a leader in her own institute. So we'll have certain faculties who would be talking about how to be a leader in your own area, in your institution that you are. So that would be one area which I wanted to interact with you all. The faculties would be interacting. So accordingly, we have certain faculties for this. Then we have certain, as AI is coming, so I wanted that the faculty members should get acquainted with the new AI concept and how to use it to make more the learning, the teaching, and the institute more efficient. Because the students that are coming to us are excellent, or they have much more knowledge than us in the computers and AI. So at least we should match with them, so we can understand how the things are going, how we can make the things easy and more creative and more productive. So those would be certain topics, and certain sessions would be on that. And there would be certain academic excellence, like as an academician, how I can excel myself in different areas. So these are the three areas I wanted to tap. And accordingly, we have faculties. We have faculties from Maharashtra. Out of Maharashtra also we have faculties. Most of the faculties would be talking in Hindi and English. That is what is preferred. They will not be speaking in the regional language, that is Marathi, because we have participants from different faculties. So the people who are from Maharashtra, they should keep this in mind, because many a time it happens that they want the faculty or the resource person to speak in Marathi, but the resource person would be delivering in Hindi and in English. So we have faculties, the principals are there as a faculty, there are registrar as the faculties, there are professors as the faculties, and from different streams, like from some are from science, some are from management, some are from the administrative background, some are from NCRT. So these are the people who are actually working on the policy making. So we have faculties from the policy also. So I hope this 12 days would be really enriching for you all as you have joined over here. So thank you very much everyone for joining, and you will all be enjoying and learning these 12 days. Hope these 12 days be a learning experience for you all. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would request roll number one to give a brief introduction of our today's chief guest as well as the keynote speaker, Professor Aparna Kotapalli ma'am. Professor Aparna Kotapalli ma'am, she will deliver a short inaugural address to us, And after that, we will have a concluding session of this inaugural session. And after that, she will continue with her full-fledged lecture. So I would now request roll number 1 to give a brief introduction of today's resource person.
Welcome and warm good morning to today's resource person. Today I am here to deliver the brief introduction to our resource person, Professor Dr. Aparna N. Kotapalli. His current position is Principal, Manikchand Pahade Law College, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Maharashtra. His educational qualification highlights is LLB from ILS Law College, Pune, Maharashtra, with first class. Pune University is having merit in third rank in year 1999. LLM from Department of Law, Mumbai University. Area of specialization, Constitutional Law and Human Rights in year 2001. She is also net qualified in 2 times in law year 2005 and 2006. She's work experience is she has practiced as an advocate before Bombay High Court, Family Court, City Civil and Cooperative Court in Mumbai till 2002. She's teaching experience is visiting faculty during 2002 to December 2005 at MP Law College, VN Patil Law College, Department of PG Studies in Law, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar University, Aurangabad. She is full-time faculty since 2006 to till 2025 at MP Law College, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. She is a IQAC coordinator of the college from academic year 2018 to 2025. She is a principal since September 2025. His research experience is PhD topic, critical analysis of law relating to domestic violence against women in India from Bharati Vidyapeeth, Pune. And she is getting award in year 2010. She has completed major research project on study of working of Consumer Forum in Maharashtra State, funded by Ministry of Consumer Affairs through IIPA, New Delhi in year 2013. She was recognized guide for PhD. 9 students have been awarded PhD and 6 students are pursuing PhD under she's guidance. She is a member of Research and Recognition Committee at Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Punyashlok Ahilyadevi Holkar, Solapur University, MGM University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, KBC, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. She has publication and participation in academic endeavors. She has published 50 articles in reputed national, international peer review, UGC Care Listed Scopus Index Journal, and in seminar and conference proceedings.
Roll number 1, unmute yourself.
Also published one edited books, The Status of Human Rights During the COVID-19, in published with ISBN number 9788192353142. She has participated in various state and national level seminar, conference, workshop in different capacities such as paper presenter, resource person, chairperson, coordinator, etc. She has acted as invitee on the editorial board for the publication of Government College, Aurangabad. Academic and professional body and extension work is she is the chairman of BOS Law and member of Academic Council at Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. Life member of Indian Law Institute, New Delhi. She is member of Ethics Committee at Government Medical College, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. Member of Mahila Sarva Samaveshak Committee in the state Maharashtra. Member of Local Management Committee of Savitribai Phule Government Women's Stay Home, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. She is the external member on Internal Committee of Osborne Company, JD of Higher Education, Aurangabad, and Priyadarshini School, SB College, Government Arts and Science College. She is a member of Advisory Committee of High Court Legal Service Authority, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. She worked as a member of panel for Lok Adalat and 10 counselor at Pre-Legislation Counseling Center established by Maharashtra State Legal Service Authority. She is invited for deliberation on Shakti Bill in the Joint Select Committee of the Maharashtra State Legislative Assembly. She has previously worked as a member of Manodharya Committee for the grant of compensation to the victim of rape and acid attacks
Sir, you can
and
conclude
tips.
it. Rule number 1, you can conclude it because we want to hear her.
Okay, she has getting various awards like Devang Mehta Foundation Award 2017, Professor Indira Parekh Foundation Award 2018, and also Marathwada Legal and General Education Society Ideal Teacher Award 2023, and Lion Club Ideal Teacher Award in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would now request today's chief guest, Dr. Aparna Kotapalli ma'am, to deliver inaugural address to all of us.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, let me thank the organizers, especially Dr. Ashtaputre ma'am and the Teachers Training Center at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University for inviting me to have an interaction with you all. I must further thank the person who has introduced me in a very elaborative way. Then it is always said that the work itself, the speech itself introduces the person. So, but however, still, I thank you for the same. Let me first of all take the opportunity to declare that this research oriented this refresher course in academic excellence, good governance has been inaugurated. One thing we have to understand that what is the need. Generally, what happens is refresher courses and orientation courses, they are linked with, especially refresher courses are linked with the course content somehow. But then it is purposefully given a serious thought that it is very much essential to train the teachers in certain areas that would be ultimately leading to the Vikasit Bharat. And may that be the reason with which this Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Teachers Training Center has undertaken a refresher course in this particular theme. We need to understand that it is not always the government, it is other agencies, it is the vigilant citizenaries who, if they work wholeheartedly with the skills that are required, certainly whatever the goal that has been set, though by the government, but for all of us, it would be possible only when we all come together, getting skills, getting trained. That is required, with which there are certain areas, of course, I would be connecting with this inaugural content in my presentation. But then I wish you all the best for this 12 days refresher course. I hope everyone will be enriched and the same would be passed to our students, beloved students, with which it would be teacher training to the trainers. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So on behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, my special thanks to Dr. Aparna Kotapalli ma'am for sparing her time as a chief guest for this inaugural session. Also, my special thanks to the course coordinator, Dr. A. Ashtaputre ma'am, for sparing her time in this inaugural session. So with the permission of both of them, I declare that this inaugural session is over. And now we can continue with our technical session of Dr. Kotapalli. Over to you, ma'am.
I hope the content is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, thank you so much for the response. Let us begin with the discourse on. It would be a conceptual discourse. As Ashtaputre madam has told you all that achieving academic excellence and leadership, that is what we want to achieve. But I personally feel that before leading to the academic excellence, there are certain basic concepts. May it be possible that some amongst us are very well trained and maybe having vast experience of teaching. They will be there participating in the refresher course for their promotion kind of things. But then I consider that some of you might be newly joined faculty members, and hence, as it is a first session, elementary session one may say, with which I have decided to speak on academic leadership, good governance, conceptual discourse for the betterment of the educational institutions. I hope that everyone will be working as academic leader in their own institutions. Maybe in future you would be leading to some other institutions as the academic leaders. But then for that we need to basically understand certain concepts. So during these 3 hours time, now it is almost 2.5 hours time, we would be talking about, of course, there would be certain introductory part, but then main focus is on the conceptual discourse. Certain concepts like academia, academic leadership, we would be basically understanding these notions. And along with that, later we also would be considering, in case of academic leadership, it is not only the director, principal, vice chancellor, but then there are certain expectations even from the faculty. So what all is expected from us and how we can tackle that. Then governance in the educational institution, it is very much essential to understand. So then we would be considering the concept as governance and good governance, kinds of governance. Rather, there are various maybe methods of governance. We would be having some discourse on that. And then importance of governance in the educational institution, roles and responsibilities of the faculty in the good governance. We would be talking about that. And then when we work very hard towards achieving the goal, whatever is the expected outcome, we will be able to reach that. Of course, during the whole session, I would be also referring to the relevant judicial verdicts that would help us understand how the things go on. And maybe it is not purely on educational institutions governance, but that would certainly help us understand the governance and the good governance. There are certain verdicts of the judiciary that help us understand how even how the state agencies, they are expected to work, for which certain guidelines which were given by the Honorable Judiciary. As I have just any questions? If not, please mute yourself. Roll number 11. If you have some doubt, you can express. Otherwise, please mute yourself. So, as I have spoken about the first point that is appearing here, in that is need of the training, which I have already covered in. I appeal to you, please mute yourself. So it is the need that we need to get trained. And if at an early stage, those who have joined at the early stage for this refresher course, immediately after joining somewhere as a faculty, you will be the persons who would be instrumental in bringing the change in your own institutions. So you will be instrumental in bringing the change in your own institute. Now, if you just look back, if we look back maybe 20 years before, 25 years before, and even prior to that, when we got independence and more focus was placed on the education, especially on the higher education, we find that the situations are not same. Situations have gone a radical change. Complexities are there. So what kind of growing complexities? Maybe in earlier times, the goal was to make the literacy rate high. But then from that literacy, we have a march towards various kinds of literacy. It is not only writing skills and reading skills now. When we talk of this higher education, we want to achieve excellence. Excellence in what? But then excellence depends not only on what kind of degrees, or rather what kind of curriculum is drafted, but then outcome. So we find that people are getting degrees in their hands, students are getting degrees in their hands, but there is a severe problem pertaining to the unemployment. They are lacking skills that are required, and very rightly, the coordinator, Dr. Ashtaputre Madam, has referred to the new emerging trends, including AI. There are certain opportunities, as well as there are certain challenges before us. So opportunities in what way? Maybe with the help of these new emerging technologies, we can help our students learn certain things, maybe getting enhanced and getting skilled. But then those skills, maybe those technological advancements have created certain challenges before us as a teacher. That students are getting much in online ways, in online resources, and they are expecting much from us. Much, not in the sense of knowledge, but much in the sense of enriching them with different kind of skills, inclusive of soft skills, so that they would be able to make a different mark in the society. Maybe they would be able to sustain. So it is a question of sustenance, not only of the students, not only of their own developments. If the students are there, we are there, we have to understand that, and hence sustenance of we all, sustenance of our educational institutions, because there are radical changes. And so as to cope up with that, we need to envisage certain policies, certain strategies, and we need to gain the training on that, and hence such kind of training programs. We find that radical change is being introduced by this NEP 2020, new educational policy. We have very less time, and hence I would not be going into the origin of this education policies and Kothari Commission and how the developments have taken place slowly and gradually. Though we find that NEP 2020 is there, no doubt, it is radical, and if it is driven in a positive ways and wholehearted efforts from all, then maybe we would be certainly leading to the Vikasit Bharat notion. But then we must not forget that the change is not sudden. Slow and gradual changes that have occurred. Focus was there earlier, focus is there now also on the education and higher education. Of course, with the changing time, we have to change. And that particular kind of change is envisaged in NEP 2020. Maybe all of us are aware that what kind of broad changes, rather the objectives and the issues pertaining to NEP. There is vast and ongoing discussion, deliberation on positivities and negativities of NEP. But then it is not only that UGC is being replaced with, or other some commission is being constituted. There are certain changes that we need to understand basically with this NEP. On broader spectrum, everyone might have noticed that interdisciplinary approach has been given. Maybe students from different streams, they would be able to pursue their education, multiple entries, multiple exit. But then it is not only the question of multiple entry, exit, and ABC, etc. But then radical change is expected in the governance of the colleges, in the educational institutions. Gone are the days when it was, a bureaucratic approach. Maybe governing body will be there and they would be dictating the terms and the things will go on. It is expected in NEP that people who are having skills, knowledge, and experience in academics, maybe they are having experience in professional courses as well as professions, different professions, they would be there in the governance. And the outcome based education is a focus now, for which maybe different kind of internship. And maybe it is said, of course, it is not applicable to law now, legal education now, hence we have not dived into it. But then for other arts, commerce, sciences faculty, people always say that yes, we have jumped into it, but then there are certain areas wherein more clarity would be required. There are certain question marks. The deliberation will continue in NEP, but then what we want to achieve, that focus must not be missed. Okay, though there are certain issues pertaining to NEP, we need to understand that NEP now has already been implemented in many of the universities, including the state of Maharashtra. And hence, we need to understand what actually is expected, that is the objectives in NEP. And we would be certainly we would be certainly overcoming the issues pertaining to NEP if at all they are there. Meaning thereby, I just want to tell that it is a situation maybe 2 years before our university, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, also they have taken certain decisions, NEP is implemented, but then are we prepared for that? And it is not only understanding the new education policy 2020, reading it out and giving training on that, but then we need to prepare ourselves to the transformations that are going to occur through it. And hence, we need to have the adequate knowledge about, because it is much expected from the higher education institutions that you are the leaders. Within the institution, we are the leaders as a faculty, not only the principals and directors, but then as a faculty members, we have to be the leaders. We have to show the path to the upcoming generation. We have to mold the characters as well as moral of the students. And then not only in our educational institutions, but all those educational institutions which maybe are there in the remote areas, maybe in the rural areas, we can act in such a way that we would stand as, path breakers as well as the lights in their way towards the excellence. And hence we have to make ourselves ready for the situational transformations. Now, when we talk of situational transformations, again, we have to understand there are certain challenges. No doubt NEP is there. Maybe the percentage of higher education or other percentage of people who are involved in the higher education getting degrees, it is on rise, no doubt, but then there are certain, due to the complexities and the challenges, there are certain transformative situations in and around. So what kind of situations if we just look around, we find that there are foreign universities, upcoming foreign universities, maybe there are private educational institutions, they are upcoming, and even they are striving hard for the quality education. In this particular surrounding, we cannot have just the traditional approach of teaching, learning, evaluation that will happen in the classes. Beyond that, we have to look into, no doubt it has got the immense importance, but then almost all the faculty members, whichever institutions you belong to, you all might have undergone the process of, may it be academic and administrative audits, may it be NAC, may it be NIRF, etc., etc. We find that it is not only the teaching, learning, and evaluation processes, but then it is beyond that. That is expected to happen in the educational institutions. Why? Because it will not be sufficient to train our students only in this teaching, learning. Through the teaching, learning process, we have to stand by them as the facilitators to understand the content from the book, beyond the book, and overall development. We have to strive hard for for their overall development. Now, during this session, we will be discussing on these aspects. Now, one can understand that academic, yes, it is very much relevant with the topic, which I have chosen to have the discourse with you all. Maybe academics, academic leadership, governance, and good governance. These are the four terms which you can visualize that why have I chosen. But dear participants, even the last segment of this conceptual discourse, and that is state under part 3 of the Constitution of India, also has got much relevance to the discourse today. And of course, at that point of time, I will help you understand why I have chosen that. So let us try to understand certain basic concepts first, especially those who have joined the education profession as a teacher, maybe in very recent times. Academics, as it is appearing on the slide, it refers to the scholarly, educational activities and pursuits associated with school, colleges, and universities. This is the term that has been defined in the Cambridge Dictionary. It means that academic has not only to do with the colleges and universities, it has also linkage with the schools. We understand that. But then we need to understand it is a scholarly. Scholarly, it is not just the routine task. It is intellectual pursuit of knowledge, research, and critical thinking. We need to underline critical thinking in our mind rather than just practical and vocational training. As I have already mentioned, the teaching learning process that happens, but there are we provoking the minds? Are we igniting the minds to think them on their own? So this is academics is a scholarly process wherein we have to try hard, wherein we would be thinking critically and we would enable our students to think critically beyond books. And then, which is also inclusive of now when we talk of academics, it talks of, rather we have to understand that it is for study. It is not just beyond books, and we would be talking about extension activities. We would be talking about maybe enriching students in co-curricular and extracurricular activities. No, first and foremost important, as we all understand, I know that everyone in this August gathering is well aware that it has its greatest linkage with the course of the study, whatever stream that the students have undertaken, it has a linkage with that. But then we will have to mold their minds even at the UG level for the research, so that there would be intellectual development, and through the process of discourse in the classes, making them, enabling them, facilitating them to learn on their own, we would be helping them contribute in the existing set of knowledge. Now, apart from this academics, general terms that are used are academia, academic discipline, and academic research. I would just like to ponder in brief on these terms. Academia is a group of community, rather we people, faculty members. When we unite together, we consider that academia. It is a group of academicians. Academic discipline, it is a particular stream or the faculty that the students choose. Why am I introducing with these concepts? Though some of us may find that it is not needed, we know it, but then conceptual clarity matters. So academic, sometimes, synonyms are used when you just undergo certain research, or else you are reading the content, but then you know that, but you do not know that it is the same. For that, I'm just giving you a passing reference of this academic discipline. There are different disciplines, as we all understand, and academic research. Now, research may be academic research, may it be industrial research, may it be the medical sciences research, wherein they are actually working on some kind of product and it would be beneficial to the society. When academicians, as like you and me, involved in the research process, it would certainly be considered to be academic research, in which we would be adding something to the existing set of knowledge. And how will it be possible? It would be possible with the critical thinking that we have developed for ourselves, and through our discourse, through our interaction with the students in the class and outside the class, we are enabling to think critically on certain points, certain issues. So I hope the domain of the term academic is now clear to all of us. Now it has to do with the course content, no doubt about it, but along with that, it is something in addition to that, and that is research, and adding to the, it is an intellectual process, it's a scholarly process that enables the masses, rather, when they undergo the process of this higher education, they would be enabled to think critically on it. And it will not always be the case that whatever comes to them as the information, they will not be accepting it as it is, and they will be having thinking process in their mind, and they will be looking into it. Is it correct? Can it be modified, etc., etc. Now let us try to understand another concept, and that is academic leadership. Who is academic leader? Who is academic leader? Can I expect answer from your side? It would be good if we go with the,
Being the faculty, ma'am.
okay. Yes, very
It
correct.
is the first mind is faculty, actually the academic leader.
Okay, okay, nice, very good. Anybody else want to say something?
Ma'am, can I add something, ma'am?
Yes, sure.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, with this academic leadership, when we come to this term, if we segregate it in two segments, academic is something with regard to the educational domain. A person might be a lady or a male faculty who is having certain excellence in his or her domain, and that too basically in the educational segment. That is what I feel from my end, ma'am.
Right. Even it was really a nice attempt, and you have given some different perspectives. I appreciate both of you. Let us try to understand the definition first, and we will continue discussion on this term academic leadership and how academic leadership can be gained by an individual as well as leadership by the institution as such. It refers to forward-thinking management of educational institutions. Please do not consider here the term management. Do not understand the term management in a literal sense as a management body of that particular educational institution. It is how the management is structured. That is how we have to understand. It is forward-thinking. This forward-thinking word or the concept requires the person sitting there in a managerial capacity. They need to be visionary so that they will be able to look forward thinking management of educational institutions. The person, as very rightly pointed out by sir, I do not know the name, but some of the faculty has mentioned that it is we the faculty members are the academic leaders. Very correct, sir. But then there has to be somebody who would also be guiding the faculty members. Even there has to be somebody who would be guiding us. So it is very correct that we are the academic leaders, wherein we have to guide the students. But there has to be somebody who would be guiding us, that the ways, the mechanism, the processes, how we would be processing whatever is there in our mind for the excellence. So it is forward thinking management of the educational institution that would be guiding faculty, staff, students towards excellence in teaching, research, and other services. Now, if we say that there has to be someone who is having forward thinking, maybe they are looking forward for the developments to occur and they are there to guide. Now, one basic formula that one needs to understand is that when someone has to guide the other, the person must be able, the person must be capable to understand how the things will go ahead. Meaning thereby, roadmap is essential. Policies are essential. Strategies are essential. These are the words. Of course, in coming time also in different slides, reference will be there. But then forward-thinking management who would be guiding faculty, staff, and students must be equipped with certain policy roadmap with which the institution will be, undergoing the process. I must not say will reach to the excellence because it's a long process. But then for guiding others, we must have certain clear picture on the way in which we would be proceeding towards this excellence. And hence, whoever, may it be faculty, may it be the administrator, may it be the people who are sitting in the management, or may it be the director or the principal or the vice chancellor, we all need to have short-term goals, long-term goals, how the goals are to be fixed, how the goals are to be finalized. Of course, there is some linkage that every educational institution has got certain vision and mission. Now ask yourself, okay, I will not be asking you immediately, but I would request you to work on this point, that maybe at least for the NAC, for this NIRF, for AAA, people or the educational institutions. Of course, there are exceptions. Okay, every point which I'm mentioning, there are exceptions. There are good institutions who are working towards the fulfillment of the goals that they have set in vision and mission statement. But then for the newcomer faculty, they need to understand remember what is the goal that is set by the educational institution, because through this teaching learning processes, through the helping students develop, ultimately we have to see that our function, our task must be in consonance with the vision statement, mission statement of the institution. And thus, whoever wants to be the academic leader need to understand basically this is the vision statement of my institution, these are the goals to be achieved. And then once you are clear with the vision and mission statement, the goals to be achieved, what all are the core values of my educational institution, either which is run by me, which is administered by me, which is managed by me, or wherein I am instrumental in bringing the change as a faculty. We all must be equipped with what is a vision, what is a mission, and what are the goals to be achieved. Then, whichever may be the activity which you are involved in, you will have to make the plan, the map. When every educational institute works towards it, ultimate goal of Vikasit Bharat may be achieved. This is how we have to link with this academic leadership. It involves setting strategic vision. Always keep it in mind. Goals must not be stagnant. Always keep it in mind, because I had an interaction with some of the faculty members earlier also, and they were of the opinion that this is the goal. Once the goal is achieved, now there are many institutions which are having long standing establishments. Through the processes, once you achieve your short term goals, long term goals, you can modify it, rather you ought to modify it. But then for modifying it, you need to be visionary. For having visionary persons, rather calling oneself as a visionary person, we need to understand what would be the possible challenge in future. What would be the what everyone might be knowing about the SOC analysis, right? Everyone, that is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. As an individual, we have certain strength, weaknesses, we have certain opportunities, and we have certain challenges. In the same way, even the academic institutions also undergo the process of this SOC analysis. Once you understand what is the strength and what is the weakness of your institute, you need to work on it. And for working on that, you need to have strategic planning, because planning is to be such that you would be able to implement. So practical implications of, once you create certain roadmap, you need to visualize even the challenges. And no doubt every action plan will certainly have the challenges. Consider that in your way there would be the challenges. But then, being the leaders, academic leaders, we need to understand that challenges are bound to be there, but then how to overcome that. And for the overcoming of the challenges, maybe we would be looking towards different kind of peoples who would be supporting, maybe different stakeholders, maybe the society. Ultimately, it is vision of the institution, mission that is undertaken by people, with which we would be helping the institution to grow, whereby academic leadership will help people in an inclusive ways. Intellectual community. Now look at the words that are there. It involves setting strategic vision. Strategic vision, we have discussed about it, and I hope it is very much clear. Managing change. What kind of change are we talking of? We are talking of the change because, of course, I am tempted to give you one passing reference. In the words of Lord Gautam Buddha, change is the only unchangeable thing in the world, in the society. If you put your hand in a flow of a water, the next moment The cells change, everyone, science has proved it now. And the flow of water, the droplets that are there on your hands, and they will also flow ahead. Meaning thereby, if change is the unchangeable thing in the world, change is bound to happen in the society. Reflections will be there even on the education processes, systems, and hence we need to get ready for managing those changes. Meaning thereby, we need to get equipped. Basically, we need to update ourselves. We need to get equipped ourselves. Updates, what kind of changes are occurring? Equipped, if some technological knowledge is required, some skills are required, you need to get into it so that you will be able to manage the change. In our times, this used to happen. In our times, that used to happen. If you continue saying the same, if we continue saying the same, we would be, in very short span of time, we would be considered to be outdated models in the society. And hence, we have to, if we want to be academic leaders, leaders are to be updated. Leaders basically must have the clear conceptual clarity, strategy, plans. And those plans are strategically to be carried out. For that, they need to understand what kind of changes, what kind of challenges, and we need to foster an inclusive intellectual community where innovation and collaboration can thrive. Both the words stand very, very significant for us. Fostering an inclusive intellectual community. See, we have to have the inclusive approach and not exclusive. We will not be excluding, rather it would be, as much as possible, it would be coming together, feeling of coming together, wherein all the intellectual community would be coming together, working hard for what? Where innovation will be possible. And mind it well, my dear colleagues, that in this current world, wherein various challenges, when we all see, maybe we suffer from different kind of challenges, collaborative efforts will help us get over these challenges. Many challenges, of course, there would be a passing reference at later point of time, what kind of challenges the educational institutions have. But then academic leadership is not only knowing the content from the text and reproducing it in the class. I purposely am telling it, considering that some of us are newly joined faculty members. I understand that those who are, experienced faculty members, they already know about it. Okay, just, refreshing our memory on this point. So it is forward thinking management, guiding faculty, staff and students towards excellence. Now, generally what happens by the faculty, because I have also worked as a faculty, our focus more is on faculty and students. But then non-teaching staff, other staff also plays a very, very important, crucial role, and hence guiding them also in good governance stands very, very significant. I hope the notion of academics, academia, academic disciplines, academic research, and now the academic leadership now is very, very clear to all of us. Let us proceed ahead. Now, when we talk of a person, including you and me, as academic leaders, we need to have certain qualities and certain competencies. Anyone, it is not always the case in case of administrative person holding the administrative position. When we consider ourselves to be the academic leaders, we need to have these skills. Let's try to understand first, wherein I have already actually pondered upon it, and that is vision and goal setting. We have discussed about vision and goal of the institution, which may be framed prior to a particular period. When you have undertaken a small portfolio as a faculty, still in that you need to set the goals. May it be very tiny portfolio that has been given to you. especially the young faculty members. It is not just because it has assigned to me, someone tells me that I will be doing this thing, blah, blah, blah things. I will be working on it. But then before working on it, you need to set the goal. You need to look behind. For what behind? What is the development? How the development has occurred in that particular portfolio. And then you need to set new goal to yourself. We all as a teachers, some of us administrators, must not forget. May we be very old, on the verge of retirement, maybe just 5-10 years are left. But then we must strongly believe that there is a process of lifelong learning. Every day, every now and then, we learn certain things if we keep our mind open. Not only eyes and ears, but when we keep our mind open for the new things, it would be continuously lifelong learning for us. And this lifelong learning, may it be the content from book, beyond book, maybe the experiences that we come across while, dealing with various portfolios, maybe in the class, outside the class, etc. But then we are in the learning process, and this learning process enhances our competencies. We need to be flexible and adaptable. Adaptability to what and flexibility to what? Sometimes these words are, misunderstood or mistaken. I must not say misunderstood, but they are taken in mistaken ways. That I would be flexible. Flexibility must not place your integrity and ethics at stake. We will never be deviated from our ethics, our integrity. Getting managed by someone for some lucrative things, if are shown, it is not flexibility. Flexibility and adaptability denotes that if suppose some changes are occurring, I have already given you a passing reference, and maybe your mind has already started working on what kind of changes are occurring around us. So it is, it is the adaptability to the changes. We used to do it 15 years before in this particular way, and this is the best practice. It may be best practice, but then we need to be flexible. Maybe the new minds, young minds that are around us, they would be enabling us in thinking in some different ways. So maybe the standard operating processes that we might have devised at our own institutions, there has to be some kind of flexibility each time, meaning thereby that SOP can be restructurized, considering the changes, considering the advancements. Maybe in earlier times, we used to prepare the list of students. Now lists can be prepared on Excel. The interaction is possible online, and maybe we can invite others from online sources, online platforms. Are we not got adjusted with these kind of changes, adaptabilities? I consider that even this refresher course, which is being organized in online platform and we all have joined to it, it itself is indicative of we all are adaptable. Because we have adopted with the change. Maybe it was blessings in disguise during COVID period, but then at a distant mode, we all are sitting and we are talking to each other. Meaning thereby, we all are adaptable to the situations, and this adaptability and the flexibility which will enable you to restructurize, to modify the SOPs in your institutions will certainly be helpful. Now, as an academician, as a teacher in the class, whatever decisions you make, maybe administrative, yes, but then all the decisions must be data driven. It is not the whims and caprices. This is the quality that is required, that you need to think rationally and you need to give justification to your decision. Whatever decision you have taken, maybe the selections, etc.
हे याच्यामध्ये अकॅडमिक लिडरशिप इन्स्टिट्यूशनल एक्सलन्स.
Yes. Any doubt? No, ma'am. Yes, someone was talking about institutional excellence, and I thought that maybe there is something. Anyways, let us proceed. Let us proceed ahead. Okay. So I hope the points are very clear. We have talked about vision, goal setting, lifelong learning processes, flexibility and adaptability with the change, and data-driven decision-making processes. Is it all clear for all? Are there any doubts on it? Now, may it be again and again, I'm repetitively telling you because that may it be the administrative authority, may it be the faculty. When we presume ourselves, when we consider ourselves to be the academic leaders, we need to have certain other qualities apart from the skills that we have discussed, and that is empathy. I would be giving you very simple illustrations for the same. Empathy, stepping into the shoes of others, understanding it is not only the sympathy, but understanding the problems of others by stepping into the shoes of others will help you understand the crux of a problem. Thereby, you will be able to analyze the situation and you will be thinking on how to overcome that process, rather how you can be the helping hand to the next person. Emotional intelligence, yes, it is IQ always discussed, but nowadays, we all know that EQ, emotional quotient and emotional intelligence, that also has been considered of greater importance nowadays. I would give you some illustration about this empathy. Just consider that we are faculty, I am faculty, and a student comes to me and tells the economic problems. It is not always possible to help all the people who are suffering from economic problems. But then, without coming into the limelight, I am very hopeful that majority of us help the person, help the child, help the student to get admitted, to get enrolled. Maybe if the student has insufficient fund, maybe for maintaining his day-to-day activities, are we not there to help him or her? How does it happen? Because we are not having just the sympathy, but we have the empathy. We enter into the shoes, we understand what the problem is, and thus it would enable us to understand the crux of the problems that the students are suffering with. When we are emotionally connected, see the problem, once we need to understand the problem, we need not dive into the problem so that the problem is mine. We have to look to the problem as a third person, but then still we need to have the empathy, and that requires special skill and quality. Okay, otherwise the child cries in front of child, even the teacher cries, that what kind of problem it is. We need to have the strategic for handling the problems, but then for that also empathy and emotional intelligence would be required. Communication, everyone in the faculty now who are present for attendees of this course, we all know that best communicator, teacher, is loved by the students. We need to be active listeners also. It is not only the one way communication. It is not, I'm not talking only of bipolar or multipolar mechanisms in the education that happen in the class. I'm not only in the class delivery. I'm talking about when the students come to us, when other stake members are having interaction with you, we need to be active listeners. So good qualities of communication, good communication skill, and listening capacity, patience, and active listening, both the things are very much essential for the person who want to act as the academic leader. Because unless and until we understand the progress, we understand the doubts, difficulties, and challenges in the path, we won't be able to give the direction. We would not be able to give them the guidance, the path in which they are expected to walk on. Now, I hope we have understood academic and academics related concepts, including academic leadership, to which I would be again moving after few slides. Let us try to understand the notion of a state. Some of us, maybe they're from political science and public administration, that might be, there might be a clue in their mind that why I have given you a reference of state, but for others, let me explain you in the whole structure of my presentation why I have decided to discuss about the notion state. It is for the reason that we expect the state to function in such a way that can be called as good governance, isn't it? Government, governance, good governance. These are the words. Of course, we would be pondering upon these governance and good governance aspects also later. But then, my dear colleagues, we owe certain responsibility. It is not only the state. We means it's an educational institution about which I want to discuss that. The notion of state is understood, or rather is to be understood, in three ways. Basically, those who have learned political science, those who are faculty members from political science, they are well aware that the notion of state is the notion that talks of, a particular, there will be particular territory, there would be population, certain population, there would be a sovereign authority, etc., etc., characteristics of state, the state. There are different states, like the word state, I have mentioned thrice in the slide, and there nothing else appears here than the word state. It is the state, it's a concept that we understand as the state. Second is the state. That is, maybe different states are there within the nation. We understand it as a state. And the third one is the state. Now, what is the difference between the state and the state? Here, in the Constitution of India, Part 3, Part 3 of the Constitution, which provides the fundamental rights of the citizens of India and persons, it has defined the term state. And that goes beyond the periphery that conventionally we understand the notion state. There lies a crux why I have chosen discussion and deliberation on the word state. I hope first and second states are very, very clear to everyone. That is, state is a particular area wherein territory has been defined, population is defined, there would be a sovereign authority, and that sovereign authority would be, finally deciding, rather taking certain decisions and deciding basically the destiny, one way, that way, of the state. Other state, different names of the states, as like, nouns. We understand different states within the nation state. And the third one, let us try to understand this third aspect. This third aspect, for understanding it, we need to refer to the Constituent Assembly debates. I have, for the curious listeners, I have given you a reference. It is volume 7 of Constituent Assembly debates. Page number is appearing there, wherein Dr. Ambedkar had specified the object of defining the term state in fundamental rights part. Why? Because the part refers to the fundamental rights of people and greater protection. In simple words, I'm just trying to tell you. In simple words, fundamental rights of people must be protected. Nobody shall, I am using the word nobody, basically the state as is perceived, state must not violate the fundamental rights of people. And if there is a violation of fundamental rights, person has got the right to approach the court. My dear colleagues, we find day and night, maybe every now and then, litigations are filed against the educational institution. Writ petitions are filed against the educational institutions. Maybe it is alleged that one or the other fundamental right has been violated by the educational institution. Why and how? If the constitution says that it is the state which must not violate the fundamental rights of people, then how come it is against the institutions? Because the state which has been defined in the constitution, part 3 of the constitution, makes it more clear. See the vision of Dr. Ambedkar, who has on behalf of all the constituent assembly members have spoken on it, and that is fundamental rights must be clear, binding on the government, etc., 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 but there must not be violation by anyone. And for that, for understanding the state at a broader spectrum, the term state has been defined. It is not only the legislative authorities, judicial authorities, and executives, but beyond that. Let us try to understand. The state includes all the faculty members are requested to have a focus on the term includes. It is not exclusive definition. The term state includes. It is defined in the Constitution of India, right? So it is the state, the term state includes government, parliament, legislature, other authorities within the territory of India. Now here is a crux of the story, or under the control of the central government. Action of the state can be challenged if it is violative of fundamental rights. And I would like to give you some passing reference of maybe the municipal committees, district boards, port commissions. Yes, they all are considered to be the state, which generally will not be considered as a state. But then, matter of concern for us is educational institution. Can the educational institution, only for the perspective of part 3 of the Constitution, be considered to be state? And the answer is yes. Long back, in the case of Ajay Hasia, I will be sharing you the citation. I will be giving certain study materials. That is what I intend to your course coordinator. And then it was a case in which, there was a society registered under Societies Registration Act. It was an engineering college, and which was sponsored, supervised, and financially supported by the government. That is aided institution. Can it be considered to be the state? Was a question. And in that particular case, it was held that yes, it can be considered to be the state. Now, for understanding state, these are the conditions laid down as are appearing on the slide. Maybe entire share capital of the state, financial assistance provided by the state, financial assistance, aided institution, monopoly, pervasive control of the state, functions are of the public importance and they are closely related with the government functions. Now, I being the law student, I am pursuing it in such a way that basically we have shifted from police state to the welfare state notion, wherein many tasks are to be performed by the state, and educating people for giving formal education is one of the essential functions. And if that particular function is being performed by some of the institutions which are either under control, supervision, or with the assistance of the state, if they are functioning, that falls within the definition of state. And hence, dear colleagues, as and when we are talking of governance and good governance, it is not only the government as such, but then it is we all who are responsible, all those who say that, we consider ourselves to be the academic leaders. We need to understand this particular notion state, that there are certain aspects, there are certain angles in which we owe the responsibility to perform the tasks as a good government and good governance. I hope you have understood the relevance, why I have discussed and deliberated upon the term state that has been defined in Part 3 of the Constitution of India. Is it clear to all of us, or are there any questions from your side? Yes, I could see. I could see roll number 36 very attentively listening. So can I expect it from your side, sir? Is it clear? Whatever we are discussing. Yes, yes, very fine. और अगर समझ में कुछ नहीं आ रहा है, this is very general statement I am making, कि अगर कोई point समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, you can ask the question. आप मुझे हिंदी में पूछ सकते हो, भले आपकी इतनी अच्छी हिंदी शायद मेरी ना हो, लेकिन थोड़ा कोशिश जरूर करूंगी कि मैं भी थोड़ा थोड़ा हिंदी तो बोल ही लेती हूँ. अगर कोई कॉन्सेप्ट में अगर प्रॉब्लम है, कोई दिक्कत है, तो आप हमें बताइएगा, या फिर आखिर के कुछ मिनट्स अगर हमें मिलते हैं तो मैं कोशिश जरूर करूंगी कि ये सारी चीजें मैं थोड़ा आपको हिंदी में भी बता सकूं. Let us proceed ahead with the next concept, and that is governance. Now, the term governance, which is understood as a system, basically, a system or the rules and the processes by which the system or rather the institutions are directed. Now, when I'm saying institution, it may be nation, it may be corporation, it may be organization. Okay, this is the clear definition provided in the dictionary. It is not my definition. It is the definition that is available in the dictionaries. The system of rules and processes by which an entity is directed. Now, please have the focus on these words. I would request you not to go with the annotations in the slides. Whoever is doing, we are not children now. Dr. Pramod, I would request you not to do that. So, yes, it is, directed, controlled, and held accountable. So basically, accountability is the main focus of our discourse. Okay. So it's a system of rules. But then when we look back to the origin of this word, we find that it is Greek word as well as Latin verb. Greek word is goberon, but then Latin verb governor is little bit synonymous with the term governance that we use now. Okay, so it is the mechanism of decision making, but then what do we understand by the term this governor, for which it has originated in Latin term? To pilot, to steer. The person who has a steering wheel in the hand will decide where it will go, in what way it will go, whether to take the turn, whether to go straight, isn't it? So the person who holds the position as a pilot, the one who steers, is a governor in Latin terminology, from where the term governance has been originated. Governance is a process whereby we are giving the direction for the development, as like we have a reference of this Vikasit Bharat. जिनके हाथ में गवर्नेंस रहेगा वो तय करेंगे कि कौन सी दिशा से हम आगे जाएंगे. दिशा से जाएंगे बोल के छोड़ देंगे क्या? नहीं. There will be a control in the hand, so it would be directed, it would be controlled, and the one who is actively involved in the process would be accountable. So it is much about accountability also. The whole process of governance is not only about the decision making, but once the decision is made, it is to be implemented. So successful implementation of the decision also matters, and it is, it is in the hands of these persons who are holding the governance. Why to take decision? Why the decision is to be implemented? You may find my question very funny, but then one needs to ask a question to oneself that why have I taken particular decision? Roll number 80. Okay, whoever has unmuted, please mute yourself. At least do not disturb others. And that is the reason why for, this refresher orientation courses, if happen in the physical mode, a kind of discipline and decorum can be better maintained. That is what I personally feel. Anyways, let us proceed ahead. It is not only the decision making but implementation, but the basic question we must not forget, rather we must not forget to ask ourselves that why to take decision towards the goal that we have decided to achieve. For that goal, vision, mission statements. For that, short-term, long-term goals. These are the goals to be achieved, for which the person who is holding the steer of the institution, or holding the steer in the education processes, will be taking certain decisions. And decisions are to be taken in such a way that they can be very swiftly and softly implemented. The person in governance will, of course, will be able to understand the hurdles in the way, but then it is up to the person how best they can be achieved. I hope the term governance now is very, very clear to all of us. Moving ahead with the good governance. Governance, the person who holds the steer will be giving you the direction. But which direction? As I have already told you that the flexibility and adaptability does not mean getting deviated from the ethics and values. That must be imbibed in us. And hence, the governance who is responsible, who is walking on the ethical path and is striving hard for the effective management of what? Public and corporate resources. Everyone amongst us understands the value of ethics in the personal life. But then, as an institution, in the institutional life also, we are accountable to people by and large. Even as a faculty, we are accountable to by and large. If we consider ourselves to be the academic leaders, basically we are faculty. For whatever task is being done by us, we are being paid. Every now and then, we need to ask ourselves, are we performing the functions as the responsible person? Are we not deviating from the path of ethics? And we are responsible because it is not only the case that we are being individually paid, it is the institution which holds accountability towards public by and large, because the resources that we are using are the public resources. Let me tell you one passing reference. Let me give you one passing reference. There is a notion called public trust. It is the state who is accountable under public trust. But then now we all are able to understand that somehow even educational institutions are under the responsibility as, trustees. We are the trustees. In what way trustees? Because the state, through state, public by and large have shown us the faith with which we are functioning. And hence, we all are liable and accountable to mindful use of the resources that are reaching to us. Let me give you a passing reference. It is not only the state and state machineries as legislative, executive, and judiciaries about which always the fingers are shown. Good governance also refers to the academic personalities who are, shaping the minds, undertaken research projects, working on small portfolios for the enrichment of the students, for which fund is required. We have to be very, very mindful. We must not get deviated from the path of ethics, and we are expected to act very mindfully, because every every rupee that comes to us, may it be NSS, may it be NCC, may it be different kind of competitions and activities that are being conducted in the college, for which money is required. Whose money it is public by and large, who have reposed the faith on us and given the kid admission to our college or the institutions, and hence we are responsible. May it be the small portfolio, we are responsible. In good governance, of course, let me be little broader, wherein basically it is the government and the governance at a broader spectrum. Let us try to understand that governance is governance, handling the portfolios, giving the direction, having the steering wheel in the hand, and controlling not only the directions, but then while in the capacity as a governance, in holding the position in the governance, if you take the decision, how the decisions are to be. Now please move back to earlier content. Now, I would not be taking you back to the slide, but then it is to be rather governance for taking the decisions and implementing it. But then when we are talking of the taking the decisions, how the decisions, why the decisions, we have discussed in earlier slide, but how the decisions, it has to be transparent, equitable, and accountable. Meaning thereby, as and when we take any decision, we must be very, very clear that why are we taking the decision. And it is not only the decisions are taken and we know why we have taken the decision, let it be clear to all. The decision-making authority is bound to disclose the reasons why this decision has been taken. There has to be certain objective and not the hidden agendas in our mind. Okay? And hence, transparent. Now, there is a difference between equality and equitability. And I hope being the faculty members, we all understand what it is. It is considering all sets, all segments, all inequalities that are in existence, and considering the fact that the requirements would be different, and then we would be acting in such a way which would be inclusive enough so that people around us, students that are there, and for the governance at the state level, it would be feeling of equitability amongst all. Okay, we are accountable also. I suppose at 12:30 there is a time for break for 10 minutes. Am I right, coordinator and others? That has been. So I would, if you want, I can continue together. If you want me to continue.
We will take a break of 10 minutes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. We will assemble again within 10 minutes. Thank you. पानी के अंदर ही होंगे।
हेलो हेलो हेलो। हाँ जी भैया, भैया उससे बात करके एसी मंगवा के एसी इंस्टॉल कर दो। 3 मिनट उनकी रखा था इन्होंने, और अब पता नहीं कौन कौन सी एजेंसी फोन कर रही है। मैंने सबको बताया था भाई फोन रख दो, एसी भी नहीं आया। ठीक है, मैं कर देती हूँ। हाँ हाँ, ठीक ठीक। कल बात करते हैं। अच्छा, ये तो की बात मची कहीं नहीं था, काम करना शाम को बिल्कुल तो कहीं चाहिए। तो किया वहाँ पे खाली के बाद वहाँ वो पूरा स्केल पड़ा हुआ था। हाँ, अभी और बाकी दिया। अब आज उसका वो लगा रखा है, तो अभी दिया है बेचारा, 1 महीना भी नहीं था उसको। नहीं नहीं, अब तो वो प्लेन में आ गई, वो मर गया। इतना सारा नहीं हुआ है बेचारा, इतना मर गया। बहुत प्यार करता है, बहुत ही प्यार करता है। शौक नहीं होता, वो हो जाता है। तो मैं तो बिल्कुल ऐसे वाली हूँ, नहीं पा रहा है, मैं कुत्ता अच्छे घर में गाना टिकाना। तो ये कुत्ता ही हमारी गोद है, यही नाचा करता है पूरा टाइम। वो लेटे टिश्यू लेके हाथ पाँव साफ करते हैं, वॉक करके आए, इसके पैर वॉश करो, साफ करो, इसका मुंह साफ करो, यही करते हैं। यही करता है। बहुत बहुत ज्यादा। चलिए, ले लिया मैंने।
वो डिलीट करो क्यों? गलत हो जाता है। पुलिस नहीं नहीं नहीं,
बस 7
ऐसा
बजे
खत्म
तक
होती है। वो यूनिफॉर्म
आता
पुलिस का नहीं
ही
होता, आप भी लगाए हुए आप डिलीट कर देता।
बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक में मतलब मेरा कुछ भी आया तो ऐसे ही है कि मैं जॉब करना चाहता हूँ। 5 बजे तो कुछ डेडलाइन उसके बाद भी ऐसे है। खाना तो खा सकते हो, आप कभी भी
Roll number 54, 52, 44, Dr. Manoj Bekle, and roll number 70. I request you to please mute yourself. I hope all are freshen up and we can start with the second segment.
Yes, madam.
Whether the screen is visible to you?
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. So, partially, actually, good governance aspects were discussed by us, and there are few additional points that were left untouched. What? Please mute yourself. 52. I would request the admin to please mute them. So we had discussed that there is a difference between just governance and good governance, wherein the good governance will be that governance wherein people are feeling responsible towards their task. They are not getting deviated from the ethical practices, and they will be involved in the effective management of the public money, public resources, whatever are available. So, and of course, when you are engaged in the decision as an authority, you can take the decision. Even as a faculty, when we are holding certain portfolios, we can take the decisions. But with what is the rationale behind the decision, that stands important. And hence, any decisions, when are taken, if they are transparent, if they are equitable, and the feeling of accountability is there in the mind of the person who is in the governance, and that reflects from the decision, then it can be certainly considered to be the good governance. Further, good governance, there are certain basic tenets, and the functionaries when are involved in the upholding the rule of law. Now, again, what the rule of law is? Rule of law is a concept wherein no one is above the law, or else if may you be so ever high, the law is above you. That is what is a proof of that is being followed. So, you or me, may we be there in the governance, we have to strictly follow the rules, the laws, and the procedural aspects that have been coined, that have been defined. And hence, governance will be good governance only when we follow the rule of law. We are not above the law. It is further to be taken a note of that there, when we say it is a rule of law or rule of law prevails, that everyone before us is equal. So equality before law and equal protection of law are the tenets in this rule of law. Roll number 52, you want to say something? If you want to express, you can unmute and speak. Okay, let us proceed. So, when we uphold the rule of law, when we follow the rule of law, and when we do not get deviated from the ethical practices, when the value of responsibility and accountability is imbibed in our mind, there would be minimal, rather there would be no corruption, but we will be able to minimize the corruption that is there around us. It is not specifically about educational institutions. The good governance is the term that we need to understand at a broader spectrum. Through this following the rule of law, we would be able to better protect the fundamental human rights of people. For us, even in the educational institutions, as we have already discussed, that we are accountable. We need to follow a rule of law. We need to be transparent when we are taking the decisions because we are accountable to public by and large. As an educational institution, we are involved. Rather, the discourse started from the point that it is not only the teaching learning process that happens within the classrooms. The best educational institution will be that institution which would work towards holistic development of the students. It is not only the curriculum, but beyond the curriculum, co-curricular, extracurricular, beyond that, skill enhancement, beyond that, making them equipped with the required skills, inclusive of soft skills and technological, making them technologically strong, will make the holistic development. So we owe the responsibility as the educational leaders, as an educational institution, to make them develop in their, rather we are instrumental in their overall development. So holistic development. So when we are responsible for their holistic development, our work, our tasks, our handling of portfolios must be very, very fair. Our actions must be very fair. So fairness in the action. Now, what is this fairness in the action? It again links it. We can link it with, earlier discourse wherein we talked of rule of law and everyone who comes before us. Maybe as a teacher, as a faculty, we are much concerned with the students. So when students come to us, all are equal before us. So the equality, feeling of equality, and if I am there to hold a position, we are there to nurture them and to give them justice if required. So in this particular situation, our actions must be fair. It must be objective and not the subjective. We must not have a concern about who the person is in front of, but what is the objectivity behind the decision. That must be very, very clear, and that will make our action very fair action. There must not be colorable exercise of our power because I am so and so, and because the person who is reaching to us is so and so, and there are certain vested interests, and maybe there are certain hidden agendas. That will not work. That will not make our governance as the good governance. Some of the tenets also of the good governance also refer to no exercise, colorable exercise of power. Everything that we are taking decisions, we are planning, we are making the strategies, there must not be any hidden agendas as such. There has to be crystal clear situation, there has to be clarity and not the ambiguity. And then we must not exercise the power either to suppress, oppress someone and to achieve the objectives for ourselves. It is we who stand for the holistic development of overall institution. Further, always keep it in mind, my dear colleagues, that maybe in different committees, because I am just taking you along with this particular notion from the educational institutions perspective, that would be more beneficial. That is what I feel. So in different capacities, maybe there are certain decisions to be taken by us, maybe some disciplinary actions to be taken against students, maybe some positive words from our side, positive actions, what we consider as affirmative actions from our side are required. Maybe a portfolio, maybe for the sake of discipline, when we take any decision, maybe there are, in almost all the educational institutions, there are certain statutory authorities that is, mandatory. We all know that anti-ragging committees are there, internal committees are there, so on and so forth. Maybe equal opportunity cells are there. While working on these cells and bodies, we need to understand that there has to be fairness in our action. Who is who, we are not concerned with. Whatever matter comes to us, that matters. And hence, no unfair practice, no colorable exercise of power, and similar ways, we need to follow the principles of natural justice. while taking any decisions, even in the educational institutions, if we need to have the good governance in the educational institution. Now, what is this principle of natural justice? There are different principles, and the bundle of principles are called as principles of natural justice. One of the very, very important segment is opportunity of being heard to be given again to the person against whom either the disciplinary proceedings or the complaint has been filed. We all know, we all understand, but we need to rememorize ourselves that there are always two sides of the coin. Complaint received doesn't mean that there is a truth in the complaint. We need to investigate many times, right? In the governance processes, we need to give adequate opportunity to the other side to speak against whom the complaint is. हमारे पास अगर कोई भी कंप्लेंट लेके आता है, भले आप टीचर हो एक पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट के, आपके क्लास में कुछ हुआ है, आपके एक्टिविटी के दरमियान कुछ हुआ है और आपको कुछ डिसीजन लेने का सिचुएशन है, जिसके अगेंस्ट है उसको भी तो बोलने का मौका मिलना चाहिए ना. आपने डिसीजन ले लिए तो नहीं चलेगा. Then opportunity of being heard is denied. This is again gross violation of the right of an individual. We need to consider that, and it would never be considered to be good governance. We need to give them the adequate opportunity to speak. Again, उनको बताना तो चाहिए, उसको पता तो होना चाहिए कि उसके खिलाफ कुछ है. इमीडिएट आपने बना दिया, निर्णय दे दिया और वो डिस्प्ले भी हो गया कि these students are debarred, these are suspended from the college. Have you heard them whether they knew that there is some complaint against them? If someone has given presentation for the screening round and then you have not they are not communicated the rationale for the selection round, it is not following the path of principles of natural justice. They have every right to know the reason. When we take any decision, opportunity must be given to them to speak their own side. We must be very clear, and whatever decision is made, there has to be rational and that reason to be communicated to the other side. Even though we are not sitting as judge, but then we are performing the decision making. And in this decision making, we need to be very fair. We must not follow, the dictators, whims and caprices. There has to be a rationale behind our decision. We need to follow the principles of natural justice. And if the complaint is against me as a faculty, as a principal, then I must not be the person who would be deciding the case, because I cannot be, unbiased. This is what again is inclusive of these principles of natural justice. So even in the educational institution, when we are acting as leaders, when we are handling certain portfolios, and for that particular portfolio, I am the leader. And if there are certain kind of complaints, always keep it in mind against whom the complaints are. We have to follow the principles of natural justice. That is, we need to give them the adequate opportunity to be heard. उनका कहना सुन लो, उनका क्या रीजन था बिहेवियर का वो सुन लो. जस्टिफिकेशन देना ना देना बाद में की बात हो गई. अगर हमारे ही खिलाफ है तो हम ही वहां पे जज बन के नहीं बैठ सकते हैं, वो भी समझ लो. और हमारा हर एक्ट बहुत फेयर होना चाहिए. फेयरनेस इन एक्शन विल मेक द गवर्नेंस गुड गवर्नेंस. और ये सारी चीजें करते हुए, क्योंकि हमें कोई टारगेट है, वो टारगेट अचीव करना है, हमारा कुछ गोल है, डू नॉट फॉलो अनइथिकल पाथ, डू नॉट इन्वेड अपॉन अदर्स फंडामेंटल राइट्स. जो कोई भी व्यक्ति के अधिकार है, वो अधिकार का हनन ना हो. इसीलिए हम टीचर क्यों ना हो, हम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर क्यों ना हो, हम मैनेजरियल पोस्ट पे क्यों ना हो, हमारा हक बनता है निर्णय देना. लेकिन वो निर्णय किस तरह से होगा तो वो गवर्नेंस गुड गवर्नेंस बोला जाएगा. व्हेन वी आर वॉकिंग ऑन द पाथ ऑफ एथिक्स, वी आर नॉट गेटिंग डेविएटेड, and there is a rationale behind our decision. Implementation becomes more crucial when the decisions are, are taken keeping the ethical aspects at stake. No, we must not indulge in such kind of actions. Now, I hope it is very much clear. Let us proceed ahead with governance in educational institutions. We have understood governance. We have understood governance in educational institution. But then why governance? Why are we using the term governance and not only the management? There is need of effective governance. Why? Because we are bothered about quality, isn't it? We are bothered about quality. We are bothered about sustainability. Now, what kind of sustainability am I talking about? Because we have discussed earlier that there are certain challenges in the contemporary era. The challenges within, the challenges outside, and the challenges are being created through the global community. And hence, sustenance is a greater problem. There are again question marks on NEP also. Some of the critics mention that NEP question mark on the sustainability. That apart, just giving you the critical view on that how people are perceiving. But then sustainability, it is very, very crucial. Effective governance is crucial for quality enhancement, for the sustainability, and moreover, our own legal standing as a higher educational institution. Very important it is. But then when we have to maintain the high quality education, because we will be striving hard for our own existence, isn't it? Because there are competitive different organizations, maybe institutional organizations. Why students shall get attracted to your own institution? Why the students shall get attracted to you in the classrooms? Why and how? Your actions will decide whether they will be turning to your institution or not. And once they understand that this is the institution wherein the things happen for the overall development, maybe holistic development of the students, for which the visionaries are sitting there who are planning well, and according to the plan, action is taking place without getting deviated from the ethical norms, and by following the principles of natural justice, decisions are happening here. They will get attracted because ultimately you and me, when we are involved in the processes in the educational institution, it would be uplifting the status of the institution, wherein it would enhance our efficacy.
Hello. Hello. Stuck.
हा मॅडम आवाज येतोय तुमचा बोला.
Voice is not audible.
Yeah, ma'am, disconnect हो गए.
Session is in or not? Ma'am is disconnected. Ma'am is disconnected. Should I continue?
पार्टिसिपेंट वेट कीजिए, मैम का शायद टेक्निकल इशू है, मैम फिर से रिज्वाइन करेंगे विद इन 5 मिनट.
Okay, sir.
ओके सर.
Um, Sorry, I had got disconnected. Now let us proceed. Please mute yourself. Will you please allow me to share?
Yes, ma'am, you are the co-host. You can.
No, I was not able. Anyways, I hope it is now visible. We were talking about the educational institutions who are willing to go ahead with the quality, enhanced qualities and sustenance. They need to plan accordingly. They need to rather, when we say governance, what does the governance mean? Governance means for the educational institution. Basically, we were talking about that. So it is not only about planning and organizing. It much depends, or rather, it is more than that, and it is staffing. The recruitment process stands very important, and then recruitment will happen everywhere, but then there will be the good governance that we will find, that this staffing pattern, recruitment process, when is free from nepotism, free from corruption, and based on purely on the academic and merit basis. If it is, then we can consider that to be good governance. Planning is made in such a way that you can operate on it, you can work on it. Leading without any biases, colorable exercise, as we have seen, and as and when required. Of course, control has to be there, controlling mechanism has to be there with someone, but then it will be in such a way that, see, everyone understands and everyone wants autonomy, right? Within the class, we want autonomy, but that autonomy brings a responsibility. So even the educational institutions which are striving hard for the quality, they need to work on the responsible behavior of the institution or the governance as such. Now, when we say we are the academic leaders, in the context of good governance and the governance, when we say that we are the leaders, where we are holding the steering, somehow we all are involved. Now, I understood that some of us may be from the university, some of us from the private educational institutions, aided institutions, and maybe whatever is appearing on the slide is not very correct all the time. But then some of us certainly are involved in the curriculum design, innovations. Yes, to certain extent, even if we are affiliated colleges, we are involved in the curriculum design, because some kind of flexibility is there when you are dealing in the class. Updates you can give to the students, and thus paving way for the innovation. I have already talked about faculty recruitment, development, and mentorship. Now, please try to understand governance, because we are linking it with the governance and good governance. Apart from faculty recruitment, quality assurance, development, these are also very crucial issues. It is not only the students' overall development and holistic development we are talking of, but for the students' holistic development, we need to enhance the skills amongst the faculty, and hence nowadays the change has occurred, and the faculty are allowed to go for different courses and training programs and mentorship programs, but then this all will lead to the capable persons who are holding the positions in their hands. Okay, so we need to, because we are considering ourselves to be the leaders, we need to think of quality assurance and upholding the high academic standards without getting deviated from the ethical path. We rather, that is our focal point. Further, as an academic leader, we must see to it that financial management nowadays, of course, please do not consider my words to be critic, rather negative words, but this is the reality, that nowadays, due to the increasing pressure and decreasing financial support from the government, it has become very tedious and challenging task to run the educational institution. Financial management and resource allocation one needs to think of. May it be possible that we are holding small portfolio, may it be possible that we are holding the responsible position in the institution. We have to look into how much financial budgetary provisions are there.
Yes, I hope I'm visible to you and I'm audible. There is
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
power cut issue and I will not be able to share the screen for a while. Let us see how it works, and as soon as possible, I would further be sharing. But please get adjusted with the situation. The point that one needs to understand is that we were talking about the responsibilities of the academic leaders, and in that we were talking of curriculum designing, innovation, then faculty recruitment, and beyond that, quality assurance is the task that we have to handle. We need to understand, maybe the smart may it be, I was on the point that may it be the small portfolio, may it be the leader of the institution, but then you need to look into the financial aspects also, because it is said, it is a proverb कि आप कुछ भी ड्रामा कर सकते हो, आप पैसे का ड्रामा नहीं कर सकते. तो whatever is the financial budgetary provision, one needs to, as a leader, one needs to look into it, that what is a budgetary provision for continuation of the activity, and how best you can utilize other resources for the successful conduct of maybe events and maybe whatever plans and strategies that we have made. We as the leaders, maybe academic leaders and the institutions, we ought to rather protect the diversity. We need to understand that protecting the diversity, equity and inclusive initiatives, that is the task to be performed by all of us. And we need to, as the academic leaders, further we need to foster the culture of research and innovation. Once the teachers are engaged in the research activity, certainly it would reflect in the teaching learning process in the class. How will it enrich the students? It is, of course, whatever I'm telling you, it is for the newly joined faculty members. I understand that the faculty members who are having rich experience, who have joined here, maybe they are knowing it. But then, my dear faculty member colleagues, you need to understand that we are there to foster the culture of research and innovation among students. And for that, you need to get engaged yourself in the research first. For teaching learning process, you will be researching, you would be reading additional content, you would be communicating them the way in which they will develop the critical thinking. You have to be critical thinker, you need to develop it amongst the students. When we talk of research publications, it is not only for the purpose of getting API scores and our own our own promotions. We have to bother about the mindset, or rather overall development amongst the students. And then we have to work hard for imbibing the values amongst them, and they would be working on it, and they would be, excuse me, त्यांना सांगा मी लेक्चर मध्ये आहे, मी नाही बोलू शकणार आहे आता. So I'm so sorry for the disturbance. Anyways, so we were talking about fostering the culture of research and innovation. If the teachers are engaged in research activity,
if they undertake the research projects, they involve the students in their research projects as the maybe trained investigators, and if they are giving small tasks for the research activities, then certainly we will be able to develop a research culture. It is not only the routine task of communicating the students about the content that is available in the text. They can read on their own, they can search, they can read it online, offline. But the task on us as the academic leaders, as a faculty member, is more than that, and thus we have to promote the research and innovation in our campus. Now the accrediting agencies, they look towards universities in different dimensions. Maybe they are looking at the educational institutions, UG colleges, affiliated colleges in different ways. And expectations are different. If you just look at the parameters and the weightage that is given at the university level for the research, that is more, but it doesn't stop us as the academicians, as the academic leaders. Even though you are from different colleges, we are from different colleges, nobody stops us getting engaged and engaged in the research activity, and developing the research ambit, research bent amongst the students. That would certainly bring a kind of innovative practices and innovations basically in the institution, and through institutions we would be able to bring changes, positive changes, transformations in the society as such. That is what I feel. But then we want to do so many things. Now the picture is clear before us, that basically what is academics. We have discussed about academics, academic research. We have discussed about governance, good governance, how and why we are responsible. But then, after understanding our role and responsibility as an academic leader, we further need to understand that we face certain challenges as an academic leader, as the educational institution also, and as an rather as an individual academic leader. What kind of challenges do we have? There are different governance models. Okay, different governance models. Those people who are there with us, maybe different stakeholders, everyone will have diverse opinion. But then taking them along in the on the path towards excellence would be a challenging situation for any person who is in the governance. Okay, may it be the faculty also. So navigating shared governance model and building consensus amongst the diverse stakeholders. If we involve, see, it is expected that we involve different stakeholders, but when we are involving them, they will have their different opinion, their different perceptions. Maybe their opinions are based on their previous experiences, and whatever you are trying to communicate, may it be possible that it is somehow difficult, because all the diverse stakeholders will have different opinions, and taking them along diverse opinions, it would be a challenging situation. Another thing is budgetary constraints. As we have already discussed about, we want to do many things, but that for those many things, for maybe thriving hard for academic excellence and for the overall development of the students, we want to undertake many projects, many research activities, many academic collaborations. But then budgetary constraints may be there. You need to look into it. Now, of course, it is not just the faculty who are considering themselves as the academic leaders, those who are actually in administration. They will have to look into it, that these many tasks are undertaken, are proposed to be undertaken by the educational institution, and how to generate the fund that is required for the activities, the projects, maybe the plans for making them successful. We have to look into it, that it's a reality that the financial help day by day is getting reduced from the side of state. Maybe there are certain pressures even on them. We are not here to criticize those aspects, but then the financial help from the government side, if is getting reduced day by day, we will have to see to it that the fund is getting generated at our own institutions, and that is how we have to plan that we would be able to sustain during financial crunch situations. So we will have to see to it that whatever fund is available, we would be utilizing available fund to the greatest, that would be of greatest utility of people by and large. It would be of use for the students, and um, best utilization of existing budgetary provisions and paving way for financially making oneself strong enough by devising the courses that may be considered to be finance generating courses. And it is not fund that matters. We are not profiting agencies, profit making agencies, but then for simultaneously we have to understand that the fund is required. And if this is the situation wherein funds are less, you need to think about how best funds can be generated. Okay, may it be the CSR funds, may it be the different agencies through which we can get the funds. And thus financial management and resource allocation is to be made very wisely by the person who is holding the position as an academic leader, or the person in the governance. That is what we need to understand. In this current era, further we need to look into the polarization that is happening, cultural polarizations. There are different issues. It is not only competition is cutthroat competition, and maybe globalization has created, privatization has created certain challenges before the students and amongst us. It is not the case. But then the if we just look at the society, we find that there is a cultural polarization, and we need to handle it very uh, wisely, nicely, and considering the niceties that are involved therein, we have to handle it in a rather structured ways. That is what one needs to understand. Then there are different technological advancements to which we had referred in earlier discourse. Like in first session, we had discussed that change is the unchangeable thing in the world, and there are certain positive changes that are happening, and maybe technological advancements that are happening. So it is we who have to understand and integrate. It is not only understanding, okay, it is integration of the technology, including AI, artificial intelligence, to which our coordinator in the inaugural session had referred to. Okay, so it is the okay. I would be shifting to other device. Please consider for the time. Caring to be tender. I would request HRDC to make me co-host again, because I had left from the meeting, so that I can share the content and the participants would be benefited. Anyways, till the time, let us proceed with the discussion without any ado. So we were talking about the challenges before us as an academic leader. Yes. So we were talking about the different models are there, governance, people are there with us. It's okay, fine. People are there with having different approaches, and managing them, taking them along would be a very difficult task for all of us. So we are there to see to it that we would be taking them along. Second, we also would be considering budgetary constraints with us. And though budgetary constraints are there, we have to think of creating
our own financial resources whereby we will be able to sustain. That is what we were considering. And beyond that, even there are certain challenges in the rather due to the growing menace that we find around. Maybe polarization has occurred, maybe some advancement teaching learning processes, and beyond that also some challenges have occurred due to the technological advancement, which is beneficial for the institution. So whatever is beneficial for the institution, we have to integrate that in the system, including AI. That is what I was referring to. Okay, and moreover, it is not only the principal and director and vice chancellors. Whatever now I'm telling, everyone will find the truth and only truth in that, and that is one challenge everyone suffers with nowadays is, maintaining the work and personal life balance. This is again one of the greatest challenge. Gone are the days in which, the faculty members, including school faculties, okay, I'm telling you, please do not misunderstand me, but in earlier times, there were long vacations available to the faculty members. Then they used to comparatively, they used to enjoy their personal life also, but then it is demanding time because of the complexities that have arose, and we are more and more involved in the holistic development of the students. We are concerned with other activities also, which is again necessary, very much necessary, and then we need to give our quality time not only for the teaching, learning, and study purposes, but beyond that for the development of the students, in which technological advancement has helped us, no doubt. But then this technological advancement also has created some troublesome situations, as like now the faculty members, the authorities are available online 24/7. So the students are sending messages, this is my difficulty, please solve it. Wherein you are at home. There are some, even the family requires time. You require your personal time. And then because of the devices, because of the technological advancement, now it is expected. Even in the corporate sector, it is not the question only of the educational institutions. They are on toes for 24/7. They will be sending email. They would be expecting answers immediately. Even if you are at home, you can work from home. This work from home notion, though is convenient, it is dangerous also to certain extent, because everything, if you are integrating, that integration is to be integrated, that integration is to be made in such a way wisely so that it does not hamper the other side. There is a challenge. You need to understand that you are there to make the fine balancing, fine tuning with your personal life and the life and the time that is demanded for the overall development of the institution. But then, mind it well, even then I'm saying so, that you have your own personal life. Doesn't it mean that, you will be doing your personal tasks in the college, in the office? See to it. Okay, I'm not asking anyone, including me, but then we need to introspect. What is my role and responsibility towards the institution? Am I performing it well? So when I say that it's a challenge created, and due to the advancement, technological advancement, and even I am at home, I am getting calls from others, I'm getting requests from others that these are the things which I am supposed to do for them. It is a challenge, accept it. But simultaneously, when I am in my office, when I am studying for the purpose of my teaching in the class, if I'm keeping mobile besides me and there are, messages coming up, like WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta, even teachers are involved in it, especially the young teachers. See to it that you are managing the time wisely in the office so that you can give time to your family at later point of time. If you waste time either in gossiping or else, postponing the things, or else you are busy with the social media platforms in the office. You are not paid for that, for which we all are accountable. And hence I told in the beginning that being the teachers, being the administrators, we are accountable. What for we are and what are we doing? When we introspect at every point of time, there would be least chance that we will get deviated from, and thus our own contribution will lead to the good governance of the institution. As and when students are reaching to us, we are available in the college hours, in the official hours, in the official capacity. What are we doing? We are busy with some blah 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 things, so they will call later. We need to manage it wisely so that whatever are the official hours, we will not be spending that time without, rather with getting deviated and for other works. I will perform my task maybe, मैं सब्जी लेके आती हूँ, मैं कभी बैंक जाती हूँ, कभी मैं थोड़ा सा चाय पी के आती हूँ किसी के साथ में, या फिर और कोई टास्क मैं करती हूँ जो मैंने नहीं करना चाहिए। मेरे मेहमान हैं तो उनको मैंने ऑफिस बुला लिया है, मेरे फ्रेंड्स आते हैं तो ऑफिस में बातें चल रही है। Am I focusing on my work? These are the, big terms, governance and good governance. And we discuss and we go with the criticism with the authorities. But then we need to ask the questions to ourselves when we consider the academic leaders, how far our behavior is just. I know that those people who have joined this course, they are not venturing in such activities which are not expected to. But then we are to be role models for others who are not there in this August gathering. जो लोग यहाँ पे नहीं सुन रहे, वो भी आपकी तरफ से सीखेंगे कि गुड गवर्नेंस क्या होता है, अवेलेबिलिटी कैसे होना चाहिए, टाइम मैनेजमेंट, पंक्चुअलिटी कैसे होनी चाहिए. इट इज नॉट ओनली द प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड चीफ मिनिस्टर. It is not the ministry, it is not the judiciary from which we must expect, or the executives from which we must expect. As an educational institution and as a part and parcel of the educational institution, it is our responsibility that whatever small domain we are handling it wisely, and whatever governance we are part of, it's a good governance, for which may it be different challenges, we are able to manage and overcome such kind of difficulties. But what is required is we need to integrate ethics along with the new technologies. Work ethics, work culture, and then technological advancements, integration in the system will, make you overcome the difficulties and the challenges. Wise utilization of time will help you manage the work and personal life balancing. You need to say no to certain activities within your periphery, within the time of your office, and you need to understand your requirement, because see, it's a demanding time. If you want to, you means not you, that is your educational institution. Sometimes it may happen that so as to overcome a situation, you are spending some time, even if you are reaching at home, but then you are spending the time for your educational institution. It is not the educational institution, ultimately you are working for you. How? Because if students are there, educational institution is there. If educational institution is there, then and then only you are there. And if you are there, your family is there. So these kind of, interdependent things one needs to understand, and hence it is requirement of the time that we need to get engaged and involved in the good governance of the institution, wherein overcoming the challenge is not only the responsibility of the head of the institution or the people who are actually involved in the governance, in the administration, but it is we all. We are there to manage academic portfolios. We are there to look into administrative. Now, especially the new faculty members. Let me tell you, newly joined faculty members, I would like to tell you that the job of a teacher, the profession of a teacher requires teacher to perform many activities beyond teaching learning process. You cannot say no to the administrative work. That is what is found nowadays, that I am a teacher and I am given the task. Of course, irrelevant tasks must not be given to the teachers, even we say so. But then you are there to help the administration in holding and performing certain tasks in different portfolios. So administrative management, it is not only the academic management, it is administrative management, it is financial management, it is students management, it is research management. So when we consider ourselves to be, the leaders of the time, maybe academic leaders, we need to look into all those dimensions, and then only our institution, due to our devoted, committed work with integrity, will be able to sustain, and not only sustain, it would be able to flourish. I hope the expectations are very, very clear now, that as a educational institution, why and how we as a teachers, maybe faculty members, as administrators, how are we involved in it. Now there are certain key principles in the governance. Let us try to understand that. Once we understand that we are accountable, we are supposed to understand the three key principles in the governance. Accountability we have discussed. So accountability is a principle in the governance. Participative and inclusiveness we have discussed, and inclusiveness is a part of this key principle of the governance. Rule of law we have discussed, and it is nothing but a part of governance, rather good governance. Autonomy we have discussed, but then we also have discussed that along with the autonomy, it brings responsibility. It is not the authority to do whatever you want to, but then it brings, responsibility, and we are responsible. Effectiveness and efficacy, again, are the ways in which, you will be able to establish and you will be able to flourish as a part of good governance. Yes, I had referred to you people about different models, and I was saying that there are different, different kind of people, different stakeholders, and managing the things becomes very difficult many times. Challenging situations are there because consensus of all the stakeholders with different approaches, that becomes difficult. For which, in the governance, different models are available, and maybe it's different authorities who opt for different kind of models. So let us try to understand it briefly. There is a collegial model, which is very traditional model, right? Collegial, bureaucratic, political, and corporate model. These are four kinds of models which we need to understand. Collegial model is very traditional model wherein, decisions are taken in the educational institution. The decisions are taken which are, faculty driven. All the faculty members would be deciding what is good, what is bad, and moreover, academic freedom will be given to the teachers. Like they can think of and they can go with the innovations in their own classes, and there would be no external force which would be controlling them. It is collegial model of the governance, wherein the decisions will be taken in consensus with the faculty members. Okay, and it would be to a great extent because they have taken the decision that we would be doing so and so things. So there would be a kind of, self-governance. And maybe senates are there and different committees are constituted and they are looking into it. So it's a traditional approach, having collegial model. Another model of the governance is the bureaucratic model, wherein there is a hierarchical structure and superior authorities are giving directions, and then the subordinate staff or other we are following it. So it's an administrative process. It is rule-bound administrative process that someone has framed the rules and they are giving you the directions, they are giving you the dictatums, and accordingly people are following the same. Generally, again, even this kind of system is found everywhere. Third model of the governance is political model. First is collegial, I repeat, collegial model, bureaucratic model, political model. Now, what is this political model? Unfortunately, we find everywhere nowadays that there are different forces that are working in the campus, and when the decisions are taken.
Ma'am, can you share the slide? Slide is not visible.
Okay. Sharing is not turned on. That is what I could get the message from host side.
Yes, actually, these are very important points, but actually.
Okay. I would request the coordinator, please allow me to share the slide. Host is not allowing me to share the slide because I left.
Yes, yes.
Actually, they had made me the co-host, but it was the electricity power cut issue.
Okay. Please continue.
Yes, so I was talking about different models, wherein collegial model, bureaucratic model, political model, and I was talking of political model, wherein conflicting values, people with different interests and conflicting values, they will come there, and in the decision making process there would be a kind of negotiations, kuch tumhara kuch hamara, इस तरह से. So they will be trying to settle the issues by protecting the interest of different groups. And in this particular process, maybe bargaining may happen, that this is what you want, but then these are my conditions and you will have to follow those conditions, and accordingly maybe certain decisions would be taken. Even this kind of governance also is found in some of the places. And fourth kind is corporate or managerial model. Now, educational institutions cannot be considered to be corporate. This is not a corporate thing, but it cannot be even equated, because we have our own objectives are different. We are not profit making, etc., etc. But still, it is influenced by the new what one may say public management principle. This model emphasizes on efficiency, performance indicators. This is very important. Though we are not corporate sector, but still nowadays inclination is towards efficiency of an individual, performance indicators. Then how are you performing? That a powerful, extremely focused governance. You are expected to perform in a focused way. आए बैठे 5 घंटा काम किया, चले गए, पढ़ाया क्या पढ़ाया, उसके बाद क्या हुआ, कुछ नहीं हुआ. Our focus has to be on the portfolios. हमारे पास जो portfolios दिया, हमारा focus तो पढ़ाई पे भी होना है, पढ़ना है, पढ़ाना है. ये तो हमारा बेसिक काम है. उसके सिवा रिसर्च तो करना है. I'm just telling you how the complex and challenging situations are there for us. Okay, लेकिन हमारे तरफ देखने का नजरिया भी बदल गया है. नाउ इट इज एक्सपेक्टेड कि हम कितने फोकस्ड हैं, हमने क्या तय किया है, कितना इफिशिएंटली हम काम कर रहे हैं, और कितना पावरफुल डिवाइसेस we have created for ourselves. Okay, how extremely focused we are. It is not only the faculty, it is administrative authorities, it is managerial people. People are looking at it, because we are responsible to this, we are accountable to the society also. So society is looking towards us, that how are we managing the tasks, how efficiently we are able to do it, for which how the planning is made, how strategic actions are placed, and how operational schemes or operational systems have been created by the educational institute. That is what we need to understand. In this process also, there are certain challenges. Not a single governance model is very good and that can be accepted. If we just look around, in and around, and we find that it's a blend. थोड़ा थोड़ा फ्लेवर हर एक मॉडल का कभी कभी आ जाता है, जिसमें जो बेस्ट है वो सारा लेके हमें एक तरह का ऐसा सिस्टम निर्माण करना होता है कि जहाँ पे हर एक मॉडल का थोड़ा फ्लेवर आ जाए, लेकिन विदाउट keeping the ethical aspects and integrity at stake. That is what one needs to understand. हायर एजुकेशन में जो चैलेंजेस है वो तो है, लेकिन वो चैलेंजेस स्वीकार करते हुए हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा कि हाउ बेस्ट वी कैन ओवरकम. फॉर ओवरकमिंग whatever skills that are required, which we have discussed, the time management skills we have discussed, updating ourselves with the technological advancement as we have discussed, focusing on the task as we have discussed, commitment towards work as we have discussed, work and life balances as we have discussed. I hope these points will certainly be helpful for all of us, paving the way towards good governance in your own institution. I would like to give some additional inputs apart from these things for excellence in the excellence of the educational institutions. Everyone, including me, we all. I'm not saying you. It is we all. We are more focused on covering of the syllabus. I would like to remind we all the words of Honorable APJ Abdul Kalam. He had once spoken in the public meeting when he was interacting with the faculty that we need to uncover the syllabus before the students first, and then you cover it. Let them understand for what. That is what we understand it is as OEB, outcome based education. Let them understand what you are teaching, for what they are learning it, and what would be the expected outcome. उसको खोल दीजिए सिलेबस को और फिर पैक कीजिए. पैकिंग विल हैपन बाद में. पहले होना है कि हाउ यू विल अनकवर द सिलेबस बिफोर देन. के सामने सिलेबस खोल के बताओ, और वो खोल के बताते वक्त हमारे मन में भावना होना है कि my discourse with the student would be the scholarly discourse, for which I need to put additional efforts, not only learning the text, but critically I must be able to critically think, analyze, and then I am placing some points for thought provoking points for the students, so that they would be thinking on their own. We have discussed about not only the teaching, learning, but administrative work. Never forget, never say no, especially the new youngsters who have joined in the this teaching profession. You are there to perform the tasks which are assigned to you, because you are part and parcel. You are also the leaders. You are academic leaders, and if we are thinking of excellence of the educational institutions, it will not be possible without your active involvement. May it be teaching learning processes, may it be administrative work, may it be evaluation processes. Let me tell you, or rather let me remind you, that evaluation process in the CGCBS pattern, CBCS pattern, which is essential crux of this NEP, expects us internal evaluation, continuous internal evaluation. Let the process be very transparent. Let the students understand why for they are assessed, how much marks for what they have got. Give them the opportunity to through the remedial, so that they would be able to improve themselves. That is what is expected from us. There has to be fairness, there has to be reasonableness in our every behavior within the premises. Beyond that, we are there as stakeholders even of the society. We are expected to work for the society in the extension activities. If the colleges are involved in the extension activities wholeheartedly, that would create a separate mark in the mind of society, and that would further help or facilitate the educational institution not just to sustain but to excel. And the excellence of the educational institutions rather, when we all come together, we all work in our respective institutions for teaching, learning, enhancement, skills of the research, and good governance. Days are not far when we would be reaching the goal of Vikasit Bharat. I once again thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak on the topic, have an interaction with you all, and I thank you all for patiently listening to whatever I could share with you. If you have any doubts, or if you want to express something which would certainly enrich me also, that would be most welcome. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, madam. Jai Hind.
If there are questions, please pick up. If you want to share, please give us your experiences, share your experiences. If you want to say positive oblique negative words about this session, you are welcome.
Ma'am, can I ask a question, ma'am?
Yes, sure.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an enriching session. It's very much beneficial for us. I just have a query. Often we see about this peer relationship matters and all. So this also comes as a point, as a parameter for achieving academic excellence.
To a great extent, the answer can be yes, because as we have seen that, it is not only about teaching learning processes, but then how do you handle the situation, oblique the campus ambience and the environment. That much depends on your approaches. And that is how you stand as leaders, academic leaders. Yes, you are very right.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Good, madam. Hello.
You are audible.
Hello. Yes, madam. At the 2023, madam, we are on the same dais at the Kalika Devi College at Shirur Kasar.
Yes.
You are a guest of validatory session that I listening you. Today's your lecture is very good and means help to us. Can you one point add, madam? I am working. I am working at assistant professor in Department of Gandhian Studies. So, can you add academic leadership with non-violent communications? Because conflict is inevitable. उसको हम नकार भी नहीं सकते, स्वीकार भी नहीं सकते, और conflict होने ही वाला है. But when we go with good academic, good institution, that time we going with the non-violent communication with the institutional hierarchy. So it is a help to us to all and good healthy relation.
आप बहुत सही बात कर रहे हो सर. और वायलेंस की जब बात आती है तो वायलेंस फिजिकल वायलेंस ही नहीं होता है, ये तो शब्दों की भी जादू होती है कि हम कितना सॉफ्ट भाषा में बात करते हैं. अगर गुस्सा भी करना है बच्चों के ऊपर क्यों ना हो, हमारे हायरार्किकल स्ट्रक्चर में क्यों ना हो, एक सादी चीज जो डिसिप्लिन के लिए बहुत जरूरी है, क्यों ना ओनली स्टूडेंट्स में, हम में भी, लेकिन वो बात करने का तरीका जो है वो हर्ट कर जाता है. बहुत अहम आपने बात किया है कि जो सिस्टम है वो सिस्टम पूरा का पूरा सिस्टम हमने नॉन वायलेंट बनाना चाहिए, जिसमें इंक्लूसिवनेस रहेगा, जिनमें पूरा सिस्टम में काम करने वाला हर कोई एक सॉफ्ट स्पोकन पर्सनालिटी जो किसी की भावनाओं को भी हर्ट नहीं करेगा. फिजिकल तो बैंड ही है, वी आर नॉट सपोज टू, गॉन आर द डेज. इमोशनल या वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन जो है उसमें भी जितना मृदु भाषा हम यूज करें, मुझे लगता है वो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा इंस्टीट्यूशन के लिए. थैंक यू फॉर एडिंग एडिशनल.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
Any other expression?
And ma'am, if you just allow me, as I am also from the law department itself, I belong from St. Xavier's University from Kolkata and from the Department of Law. So actually, we often use this term as egalitarian state and all. So, but when we find an application, often it is not there in application. It's just there in this black and white letters we find it. But I feel from my end, if we have that egalitarian state, that concept and all, so that would be somewhere or the other, it would be boosting this academic excellence that we want to achieve for this Vikshit Bharat and all.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'm happy that even law people are there. I wasn't knowing it. But then we have, as you might be knowing, we have the social sciences in law education, legal education.
Yes.
But then having law people, creates additional happiness in my mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Same here, ma'am.
Okay, is there any question? Okay, now it is a time for the vote of thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Professor Dr. Aparna N. Kotapalli, Madam, for sharing such a valuable knowledge, insight, and experience with us today. Your expertise, engaging presentation, and guidance have greatly enriched our understanding the topic academic leadership and good governance. We truly appreciate the time and effort you devoted to making this session very informative and inspiring us. I would also like to express our sincere thanks to course coordinator Dr. Aparna Ashtaputre Madam and Assistant Director Dr. Muhammad Abdul Rafi Sir and all participants for their support and enthusiastic involvement, which made this session is very great success. Thank you all and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can we leave the meeting?
Hello, sir. Can we leave?
सर लिव्ह व्हायचं का?
अमोल सर मीटिंग लीव करायची का आम्ही?